You ever live with people who act like you don't exist? People who smile to your face but leave behind chaos for you to clean? That's how it felt living in that house. 6 of us under one roof, 6 women, each with their quirks, their habits, their boundaries. But 3 of them treated our shared home like a dumping ground, like the rest of us were maids paid to clean up their hangovers. For weeks, I held it together, reminding, cleaning, forgiving. But that night when I walked into the kitchen and saw the absolute disaster they'd left behind after another drunken party, something in me snapped. And for the first time, I decided. If they want to live like pigs, then they can deal with the mess they made. Because I wasn't cleaning it this time. Oh no. I was going to teach them a lesson they'd never forget. Hey everyone, if you've ever lived with roommates who test every ounce of your patience, this story will hit close to home. Hit that like button if you've ever cleaned someone else's mess out of sheer decency. And stick around, because this revenge? It's not loud. It's not violent. It's poetic. When I first moved in, I actually thought I'd lucked out. 6 girls, 1 house, and for the first 2 weeks, it was bliss. We'd make dinner together, share snacks, laugh late into the night. Everyone took care of the kitchen, washed their dishes, respected each other's space. We had an unspoken rule: we all worked hard, we all cleaned up, and no one left a mess behind. But then came the shift. It started subtle, a couple of bottles left on the counter after a small get-together. No big deal, I thought. Then a few more bottles. Then open pizza boxes, half-eaten food, sticky floors, and overflowing bins. It was like watching the house slowly decay. And the culprits? 3 girls, Sophie, Talia, and Bree. They were the fun ones, the party girls. Loud laughter, cheap vodka, and zero accountability. The rest of us, me, Hannah, and Jade, were left cleaning up after them, again and again. We dropped hints at first, polite reminders in the group chat. Hey girls, just a reminder to please clean up the kitchen when you're done XX. They'd reply with fake enthusiasm. Of course, totally. Sorry about that, 2 hearts. But the next night, it'd be worse. The bottles piled higher, the stench got stronger, and so did my resentment. It wasn't just about the mess. It was the disrespect. Every time I scrubbed their plates or picked up their bottles, it chipped away at my patience. Hannah once sighed and said, "Maybe they just don't care." And I realized she was right. They didn't. They thought someone else would always fix it. Then one night, the house shook with bass and laughter. Music thumped through the walls like an earthquake, and I could hear shouting, glasses breaking, people running up and down the stairs. I locked my door, trying to ignore it. It wasn't worth the fight. But the next morning, when I stepped out of my room, the sight stopped me in my tracks. The kitchen looked like a crime scene. Spilled drinks on the counter. Sticky footprints. Crushed crisps. The sink, filled with moldy cups and food scraps. The living room? Bottles, cigarette butts, half-eaten burgers, and a smell so bad it made my stomach turn. I stood there frozen, heart pounding, jaw clenched. I'd spent 3 hours just 2 days ago deep cleaning that same kitchen. I'd stayed up scrubbing grease off the counters until midnight. And now it looked like a bar exploded inside our home. That's when it hit me. I wasn't angry because they made a mess. I was angry because they expected someone else, meaning me, to fix it. I didn't scream. I didn't message the group chat. I walked to the fridge, grabbed a drink, stood there looking at the chaos, and quietly said to myself, "All right then. You want to live like animals? Let's play." I went back to my room, grabbed a big black garbage bag, and walked downstairs. The sound of the bag unfurling was almost cinematic, sharp, deliberate. One by one I started cleaning. But this time, not out of kindness. Every beer can. Every plastic cup. Every half-empty bottle of vodka. All of it, straight into the bin bag. I didn't care if the bottles were expensive or half full. They were trash now. I tied the bag, dragged it to the kitchen counter, and left it right there, perfectly visible. It wasn't rage. It was calm, pure clarity. They'd see it in the morning. They'd know exactly what I'd done. And they'd finally understand that every action has consequences. Morning came. The house was quiet, except for the sound of groaning and footsteps. I was in the living room drinking coffee when Sophie stumbled in, hair messy, mascara smudged. She froze when she saw the bag. "What's that?" she mumbled. I didn't look up. "Your mess." "I cleaned it up." Talia appeared next, blinking like she couldn't process what she was seeing. Then Bree, holding her phone, scrolling absent-mindedly, looked up and gasped. "My drinks! You threw them away?" I finally looked up, calm as ever. "No. I didn't throw them away. They're in there. If you want them, you can dig them out." The silence was golden. They stared at me, speechless, hungover, humiliated. I could see it in their faces, the realization that I wasn't the pushover they thought I was. They didn't say a word. They just stood there as the stench of stale beer and regret filled the room. I sipped my coffee, smiled faintly, and walked back to my room. That was the last time they ever left the house in that state again. Some people learn through words. Others only learn when they're forced to face the consequences of their actions. I didn't want revenge at first. I just wanted peace. But sometimes peace has a price, and sometimes you have to teach people how to respect it. After that day, things changed. No more late-night parties. No more trashed kitchen. They finally understood what it meant to share a home, to share responsibility. And for me? It was satisfying in the quietest way possible. Because I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I simply showed them what respect looks like, when it's gone. If this story gave you that, finally, satisfaction, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. What's the most frustrating thing a roommate has ever done to you? And remember, sometimes revenge doesn't mean destruction. Sometimes it's just balance restored.